There's gonna be a little review for the new knockoff version of the Studio Series 14 Ironhide. As you can see here in vehicle mode, I want to show a couple of things first. One of them, you can technically mount the cannons on the sides of the truck. There are extra clips that are supposed to hook into the underside of the truck, but they don't really work. I've tried in a couple of different ways, and none of the things seems to hold up the cannons. The two rifles stored in the back, they stay in pretty well. They aren't falling off or anything. They're just neatly tucked away up in there. If you remove them, you can replace with another accessory this comes with, which are these runners. They are supposed to apparently mimic some real life trucks which have these. They are a bit inaccurate though, because I haven't checked the movies in Ironhide vehicle mode never had these runners in the back, so it's more like a little option if you wanna customize the vehicle a little bit more. Another addition this figure has is the panel in the back, which does cover a gap the original figure had. Where you see I put in my finger, used to be a little gap in the original figure, now is covered away by this little panel. Another thing I personally don't like too much is the silver bumper. It doesn't look particularly bad in vehicle mode, but in robot mode it looks a bit odd. And that's it. But other thing that kind of bothers me is the fact that if you look closely to the bed of the truck compared to the cab, the bed is a little bit shifted upwards. As you can see, it doesn't quite line up. There is no way you can push it down a little bit, just tap into place. As you can see, it doesn't, the falls off the curvature a little bit. Maybe they did it just so give a little bit more clearance to the silver piece on the bottom, but it's not like the figure has any problems rolling, so maybe that's the reason they done that. Not really a complaint, just something to point out. Also, maybe nice if they found a way to pack the wheels in. They just shift it upwards a little bit. It's not really a big problem. Well, that's that for the vehicle mode. For comparisons, here is the other Ironhides we had throughout the years in the Studio Series line. Not like there is any relation between the figures other than the name. I just wanted to showcase them side to side so you can have a look at. Well, first of all, this vehicle is just massive. There's compared to the Bumblebee at the Deluxe Class figure. And it's not like Studio Series have been shrinking or anything, because here's an Optimus Prime. As you can see, for the time when the series came out, it was completely out of scale with anything else. I mean, this is not even close to real life scale. It's not like they oversized the figure or anything, that's the original size. Maybe they should downsize it a little bit. I mean, next to Bumblebee, he looks okay, but it's still a little too big to my taste. Well, that's all for the vehicle mode. Now, going for the transformation is actually quite easy compared to other versions of the Ironhide. I had the Dark of the Moon version, and this one's a little bit more simpler than that. First thing you want to do is put your fingers under the side mirrors and you want to push them up so you can loosen up the front. Grab the smokestacks and shift them upwards. That way you're going to loosen up the entire roof of the vehicle and you can fold in the windscreen. Next thing you want to do is put your fingers at the side doors and push them out. They're gonna click. It make a little bit of a strong sound, but it doesn't feel like the plastic is going to break or anything. This is way more durable than the Optimus Prime, the one which everyone talks is a piece of garbage. This one is much better than that one, so I'm not concerned about anything breaking. You wanna also drop the figure if you are dumb like me. So now you separate this in half, you can start working in the upper body. First thing you do is shift the bumper and start folding it in. And that is a new step that you added. The original didn't have this fold. The bumper would just stay in one solid piece. And now you can split the chest. Just a bit easier if you take the arms out of the way. And they are going to shift backwards behind this piece they are covering. You want to flip this out. And this piece is die-cast metal, by the way. So you're gonna twist these shoulder pieces and align them behind this belly piece. There is a specific way of doing that. If you do correctly, there is a little tab in the back that should secure the whole chest so it doesn't flop or stay loose or anything like previous versions of this figure. So if you get everything lined up correctly, you can just give this snaps into place like so, and repeating it on the other side. A bit difficult to do it because everything is very tight in this figure. It's nothing really is loose. It's actually way too tight, so it requires a bit of force. But once you get in there, these chest pieces, they are not getting out of place. You can now tab in the head. There is a little slot in the collar that tabs into the die-cast piece in the middle. And once you have everything in, these chest panels, they are not coming off, they are staying there pretty securely. Not like other versions like the Masterpiece or the Dark of the Moon Voyager. You can twist the head if you want to. Now you want to get these wheels and they're going to slide forward. And after you've done that, you want to flip his foam wheel brakes, I think. Now you can take this, the roof and the front windscreen, and you want to actually, first of all, you want to tap the upper body to the lower half, folding the bumper, and now you can tuck in his back the roof of the vehicle mode. And now you want to take the sides of the vehicle and they're gonna fold around it, and there is a little connection where it's gonna get on the top of the roof like that. They're gonna just tab in these little pieces coming from the back of the shoulders, and that's the entire back of the figure complete. After done that, you can start straightening up the arms. They're actually pretty posable compared to other versions of Ironhide. Nothing really gets in the way. You can see there's a lot of space in his shoulders. Actually a little bit hollow, to be honest. But from the front you can't really notice it. They have some quite big panels in the arms, but the cannons are actually going to hide these a little bit more later. Now you've done that, you can start working in the lower half of the figure. First thing you want to do is untap that panel I was talking about earlier. It doesn't integrate in the transformation, so you just want to remove it and put to the side. It's just a little panel that goes in behind his knees. Now you want to split the back, and oh, there is no Autobot logo in there, by the way, just a cutout. Now you want to do is get to the back of the figure, and it's gonna untab, and you can shift it upwards while shifting the feet down, and the feet are going to snap into place. And once you get these defenders all the way up, you can slide the rear part in, so you make the legs. Same thing for the other side. There is a little groove where the bed of the truck is gonna slide in. And that's pretty much the official transformation for the original figure. And now there comes a little bit of extra steps added by the KO. You flip up these heels, they come from the underside of the feet, and you also want to unfold the rest of his fingers, and the wheels can shift on the underside of the feet. Apparently they added these steps to clean up a little bit the underside of the vehicle mode, so you can have his feet a little bit more concealed. And that's pretty much the transformation for the vehicle for the robot mode. Getting his stand up a little bit complicated because he's in my bed right now, but thanks to the extra heels it stands pretty well. And now let me see if I can turn the lights up a little bit more so you can see the details better, because there is a lot of black in this figure. It's kind of hard to see all the sculpted in detail. Would be nice if they add a little bit more gray to it so you could have a little bit more of color separation, but it doesn't look too bad. As you can see, there's a little bit of silver in the crotch, in the bumper, and the legs. The face looks really nice. I don't think this is the original face of the Studio Series figure. I think they modified it a little bit, or maybe taking it for the Masterpiece figure, because there are some Cybertronian hieroglyphs sculpted in his crests, and this one is a little bit more posable compared to the original one that I've seen. As you can see, the bumper of the figure kind of sticks up a little bit in the vehicle mode. The original was like this, but the KO adds these hinges so you can fold in the back. Still would prefer they would left it black and you haven't painted it silver. Still sticks up a little bit too much for me. So that's the robot mode pretty much. Now bringing the accessories, you can, well, first of all, remove those clips because they aren't really useful. They don't really hold the cannons in the vehicle mode, so I don't see the point of these very much. They don't really work. And basically for the cannons, they do mount into the sides of the arms where the windows are. There is like a little hole and a peg that they go in, and they cover the side windows of the vehicle mode. And they seem pretty well. The connections are pretty tight. So you have his dual cannons, which he can hold it. Other than that, he also comes with a pair of shotguns, I believe. He can hold them with his hands, or they can be stored in the back of the figure. There is a little groove that slides into these back panels. There is a specific way of doing that. They go in like that. Pretty much. And other accessories the figure comes with are a pair of swords, of all things. Apparently this is carryover from another Ironhide figure, something from third party, I believe. They look a bit odd with Ironhide, but he can hold them in different ways, like this, or you can flip them around and they can be like battle axes. And you can also combine the two swords into his hand, making his this kind of double-edged sword. There are connections, a connection in the two blades that can fit together, and then you have this giant sword you can hold. Personally, I don't like this very much. I never seen Ironhide with any kind of sword, so what I like to do is taking off the swords first of all and giving them to my Sentinel Prime. So you can kind of mimic his sword from the movie. It's not exactly accurate. mine is the original version. The KO comes with a much more accurate looking sword, but it still look much better than the original sword that comes with this figure, because they are just leftover pieces from the vehicle mode. They don't look very good, they are too small, they aren't painted or anything, and they are a bit kibbly. So yeah, if you are wondering, this shield is from their Optimus Prime. It's from an upgrade kit for it that comes with a shield and a pair of guns. Here's Bumblebee, so you can have a little bit of a size comparison between. If I can stand the figures, it's kind of hard to do it in my bed, but there's Bumblebee, and here's also a Studio Series Optimus Prime in robot mode. This is a black version that BAIWEI has done recently. Apparently they are also doing a white version. Not sure if I'm gonna get that one. So you can see the scale is about the size of Optimus, but I still think Ironhide's a bit too big. You look at his head, it's just much bigger than Optimus. I think he's a little bit too oversized. As I was saying earlier, maybe BAIWEI should have downsized the figure a little bit, but it's not too bad. For posability, he has quite a bit in the arms. He can hold his rifles into some different ways. He can twist his hands. He's a pretty posable version of Ironhide. And it actually does stand up a little bit better than the original version, because this knockoff actually has a little bit more of shifting into the built into the feet. The original didn't have this ankle pivot, so he can stand up in some more dynamic ways. That combined with the extra heels makes him stand really, really well. Overall, yeah, this figure is really nice. It costed me about the price of a deluxe, so really good value for money. And if you're looking for an Ironhide for your Studio Series Movie 1 collection or Dark of the Moon, it does work really well. As I said, it would be nicer if it was a bit smaller, but yeah, this is a good option if you don't have anything. And that's it. If you liked the video, leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in a possible next video. Yeah, goodbye.